Okay, so have you ever felt like trying to make sense of all your business data is uh, like trying to put together a puzzle, but the pieces are scattered all over the place?
Oh, yeah, I know that feeling. You've got sales numbers in one system, customer data in another, website analytics somewhere else.
And just trying to get a clear picture of what's going on feels like climbing a mountain.
It's a struggle for sure. We hear that from businesses all the time. There's so much data out there and it's constantly growing, but it's not always easy to access or make sense of it, you know?
Right. And it can be a real roadblock when you're trying to make smart, quick decisions.
Absolutely.
So that's actually what we're going to be exploring today. We're doing a deep dive into Microsoft Fabric, this new platform that's getting a lot of attention.
It is,
It's
yeah.
being talked about as a potential solution to all this data chaos, a way to bring everything together in one place.
It's being billed as a unified data analytics
I
platform.
like that. It's like creating a central hub for all your data, right?
Precisely. We're going to be digging into an introductory outline we have on Microsoft Fabric. We really want to understand how it works and why it's causing such a stir.
And more importantly for our listeners, we want to explore why this technology could be so impactful for businesses of all sizes.
For sure.
So our mission today is to break down any technical jargon, give you a clear understanding of what Microsoft Fabric is all about, what are the benefits, the potential uses, and all that good stuff. You don't have to be a data whiz to follow along.
Yeah.
We're aiming for that clarity and real-world relevance that we always try to bring to the show. So first things first,
Right.
what exactly is Microsoft Fabric?
Okay, so in a nutshell, Microsoft Fabric is designed to be a complete end-to-end analytics platform. It brings together all the essential pieces of working with data,
Okay.
like gathering and preparing your data, diving into it with data science, analyzing it in real time, and then turning it into visuals that anyone can understand. It does all of this within a single integrated environment.
Ah, I see. So instead of having like a bunch of different apps and systems for each of those steps,
Mm-hmm.
you're saying Fabric puts everything all together under one roof.
Exactly. Think about it like this. You've got a company, let's say an e-commerce business. They've got information on website clicks. They have their sales transactions, all those customer service chats or emails.
Yeah.
They've got inventory levels, and all of this is likely spread across different systems, different platforms.
Right.
Fabric wants to change that. It wants to be the platform where all of that diverse data lives. You manage it and analyze it all using a unified set of tools.
Makes sense. So a single source of truth for all your data needs.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal here,
Yes, sir.
but why now, right? What was it about the current data landscape that made Microsoft decide, hey, we need to create something like Fabric? What problems are they trying to solve with this?
Well, a big one, and we've touched on it already, is data silos. Organizations, large and small, struggle with their data being trapped in all these separate systems. Think back to that e-commerce company example for a second.
Got it.
If they want to see how their website activity translates into actual purchases or understand how customer service interactions impact their sales numbers, it becomes a really complicated task when that data lives in separate places.
Yeah.
I mean, just imagine trying to pull data from one system, clean it up, and then move it to another for analysis. That's a recipe for errors and delays.
Oh, absolutely.
So Fabric's goal, it's all about breaking down those barriers, eliminating the need for these messy point-to-point integrations, and creating a more fluid data environment where things just work together.
Where data can flow freely and insights can be gained faster.
Yes, exactly. It's all about speeding up that journey from raw data to actionable insights.
Love it. I think our listeners are getting a good feel for the why behind Fabric.
Yeah.
Now let's get into the how. The material we have here highlights 4 key pillars that make up Microsoft Fabric. Can you walk us through those?
Yeah, sure. So these 4 pillars are really the foundation of Fabric. First, we've got one lake.
One lake.
You can think of it as like a universal data lake for your entire organization. The material actually describes it as one drive for your data, which is a really good analogy.
Oh, I like that. That's a good way to put it. So it's basically one central location where all your data, regardless of what kind of data it is, can be stored.
You got it. Just imagine you have a massive research organization. They're working with genomic sequences, experimental readings, survey data.
Wow.
And this data is probably scattered across labs, servers, you name it. One lake can bring all of it together into one scalable repository.
That's incredible.
This is good for simplifying data storage, obviously, but it also makes it easier to apply consistent security and governance policies across all of that data.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And because OneLake is integrated with all of Fabric's other capabilities, any other component within the platform can access that data directly. No more moving data around manually.
Ah, so it's centralized storage, but with seamless access for everything else that needs to use it.
That's the beauty of it.
Awesome. Okay, what's pillar number 2?
All right, pillar number 2 is the lakehouse architecture.
Lakehouse architecture. Okay.
This one's particularly interesting because it combines the best features of data lakes and data warehouses into one environment.
Oh, that sounds powerful. But for those of us who aren't data architects, can you give us a quick breakdown of what a data lake and a data warehouse are and how this lakehouse concept kind of brings them together?
Sure. So traditionally, a data lake is sort of like this big open container for data. You can put all kinds of data in there, structured, unstructured, you name it. It's very flexible and great for data exploration.
Okay.
But it can be a bit messy and sometimes lacks the structure you need for more traditional reporting and analysis. That's where data warehouses come in. They're much more structured and organized. The data is typically cleaned up, filtered, and transformed before it goes into a data warehouse.
Got it.
This makes them ideal for business intelligence and reporting, but they're not always great at handling those messy, unstructured data types.
So the lakehouse is like a hybrid approach.
Exactly. With a lakehouse architecture in Fabric, you get the flexibility of a data lake for storing all kinds of data, but you also get the structured organization and analytical power of a data warehouse, all within the same platform.
Like getting the best of both worlds. I'm liking this.
Absolutely.
So to make sure I'm following you correctly, you're saying that with a lakehouse, you could store a wide range of data types, things like customer emails, social media posts, alongside more traditional structured data like sales transactions, right?
Exactly. Let's say you have a financial services company.
Okay.
They might have those structured transaction records in a database, but then they also have tons of unstructured data like emails from customers or transcripts of customer service calls.
Nice.
A lakehouse allows them to keep both types of data together in one lake. And then they can use familiar SQL queries to analyze that structured data and also apply data science techniques to the unstructured data.
So they could use that unstructured data, like the customer emails and calls, to understand customer sentiment, how customers are feeling about those transactions.
Exactly. That's the power of the lakehouse. You get a much more complete and nuanced understanding of what's happening in your business.
That's really cool. Okay, on to pillar number 3. What's next?
Okay, the third pillar is all about AI and automation. And a big part of this is the integration of Copilot AI.
AI. Everyone's talking about AI these days. But how is it actually being used within Fabric?
It's not just hype, it's really powerful. In Fabric, Copilot acts as an intelligent assistant, helping users across different roles to be more productive and gain insights faster. Think of it as having a data expert on call, ready to help you whenever you need it. Yeah, it can help with things like writing code, building data models, generating visualizations, and even just answering your questions about your data in plain English.
Hold on, so you're telling me I could just ask Copilot a question like, what were my top-selling products last month? And it would give me an answer.
Pretty much. The introductory material we have even gives the example of a marketing manager using Copilot. Say this marketing manager wants to understand how their ad campaigns are performing.
Okay.
Instead of manually sifting through spreadsheets and reports, they could ask Copilot something like, show me the campaigns with the highest conversion rates among customers aged 25 to 34 in the Northwest.
That's amazing.
And Copilot would just go and analyze the data and generate a visualization or a summary report right there on the spot.
So no more needing to be a data expert to get quick and meaningful insights from your data.
Exactly. It's all about empowering everyone in the organization to be more data-driven.
That's powerful. All right, we're on to the last pillar now, right?
Okay.
What's number 4?
Number 4 is seamless integration. Fabric is built to work hand-in-hand with other Microsoft tools that a lot of businesses are already using.
Okay.
This includes tools like Power BI for business intelligence and visualization, and Azure for cloud computing.
I see. So it's not like a standalone thing. It's part of a larger ecosystem.
Exactly. It's all about enhancing the existing Microsoft ecosystem. Let's say you're already using Power BI to create those dashboards and reports. With Fabric, Power BI can connect directly to the data stored in one lake. No more exporting data, no more messy workarounds.
Right.
They give a great example in the material, contrasting this with a more traditional setup where your customer data might be in Snowflake, your sales data is in Power BI, your website logs are in Databricks.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to pull all that together to get a complete picture.
Sounds like a nightmare.
It can be a real headache. Fabric simplifies all of that.
I can see how that kind of integration could save a lot of time and effort for businesses. Okay, now that we've covered the 4 pillars, let's dive into the different types of work that you can do with Fabric. The outline mentions these things called workloads. Can you tell us what those are?
Yeah, workloads are basically different sets of capabilities within Fabric that are designed for specific tasks.
Okay.
They break it down into 4 main ones: data engineering, data science, real-time analytics, and business intelligence.
So it sounds like Fabric is really comprehensive. It covers everything from preparing data to actually analyzing it and gaining insights.
It does. They've really tried to create a one-stop shop for all your data needs.
That's impressive. Can you give us a bit more detail about each of those workloads? Like, what could someone actually do with each one?
Sure. So data engineering is all about preparing and transforming data. Think of it as building those data pipelines to extract data from various sources, clean it up, and get it ready for analysis. A really common example is taking all that raw website clickstream data and turning it into meaningful insights about user behavior.
Interesting.
Fabric gives data engineers the tools to design these pipelines, automate the whole process, and manage it all in one place.
So it simplifies their work and makes them more efficient.
Exactly. No more jumping between different systems and tools.
Awesome. What about data science?
Well, this one is all about giving data scientists the tools they need to build, train, and deploy machine learning models.
So all that AI magic everyone's talking about.
That's it. They can use familiar tools like Python and Spark to do their work. The example they give in the outline is predicting customer churn for a subscription service.
Okay, so like identifying which customers are likely to cancel their subscription.
Exactly. Fabric gives them the environment and the computing power to build and train these models on huge data sets. And then they can integrate those models with real-time data streams for up-to-the-minute predictions.
That's incredible. I can already see how powerful that could be for businesses. What about real-time analytics? What's that all about?
As the name suggests, it's all about analyzing data as it comes in real time.
So you don't have to wait for data to be processed and loaded into a database or anything like that.
No, you can see what's happening right now. It's great for understanding live events and trends.
I can imagine that would be invaluable for businesses that need to make quick decisions.
Yeah.
Like a stock trading firm or something.
Exactly.
Okay, and then the last one is business intelligence.
Yes. And this one is tightly integrated with Power BI, which is a really popular tool for creating reports and dashboards.
Okay.
So with business intelligence in Fabric, you can create interactive reports, dashboards, and visualizations that help you understand your data, track key metrics, and make better decisions.
So Fabric really does offer a tool for every stage of the data journey. That's really amazing.
It's very impressive.
Now, I think it's important to talk about data governance and security, especially with all this talk about bringing data together and making it more accessible. How does Fabric address those concerns?
You're absolutely right. Data governance and security are critical, especially for businesses handling sensitive information. And Fabric has some really robust features built in to address those concerns.
Okay, that's good to hear.
For example, you can set very specific data access policies. You can track where data came from and how it's being used. And you can make sure you're compliant with all those industry regulations. And because all the data is managed centrally in one lake,
right,
it becomes much easier to control access and ensure that only the right people can see the right data. This is super important in industries like healthcare or finance, where privacy regulations are really strict.
That makes a lot of sense. Having that centralized control definitely makes it easier to manage and secure sensitive data. Now, we've talked a lot about the features and capabilities of Fabric, but I'd love to hear about some real-world use cases.
Absolutely.
The outline mentions some examples across different industries. Let's pick one and really dig into how Fabric could be used to solve a specific business problem.
Okay.
How about that retail example we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
We're talking about personalized recommendations, right? Let's go back to that.
Yeah, that's a great example. So imagine a big online retailer, the kind where you buy pretty much everything. They've got tons of data on customer purchases, what people are browsing, their demographics, and even social media activity.
A treasure trove of data.
Oh, yeah. And by bringing all of that data together in Fabric's One Lake, they can use those data science tools to build sophisticated machine learning models.
Okay. And what can they do with those models?
Those models can then analyze all those customer patterns, their preferences, and generate highly personalized product recommendations.
So those you might also like suggestions you see when you're shopping online.
Exactly. But instead of just being random, These recommendations are tailored specifically to you based on your past purchases, your browsing history, and all that other data.
So it's all about making those suggestions more relevant and more likely to lead to a sale.
Precisely. It enhances the customer experience, makes it more enjoyable to shop, and of course, it boosts sales for the retailer.
That makes so much sense. And then they can use those business intelligence tools we talked about to actually track how well those recommendations are performing.
Exactly. They can see what's working, what's not, and constantly refine their approach to get even better results.
It's like a continuous loop of learning and improvement, all powered by data. This is really exciting stuff.
It is. Data can be incredibly powerful when you know how to use it.
Absolutely. Now, let's say someone's listening to this and they're really intrigued by Fabric. They want to learn more or even try it out for themselves. What's the best way to get started? And what about pricing? Is this something only huge corporations can afford?
Not at all. The great thing about Fabric is that it's designed to be accessible to businesses of all sizes. As for getting started, the easiest way is to go to the Azure portal and find the Microsoft Fabric service.
Okay.
Within the Fabric interface, you can explore the different workloads, create a sample lakehouse to play around with, or connect your existing Power BI reports.
So there's a lot of flexibility in how you can start exploring and using it.
Definitely. And Microsoft offers tons of documentation and tutorials to help you get up to speed quickly.
That's helpful.
And as for pricing, it's mostly a pay-as-you-go model, so you only pay for what you use.
So no huge upfront costs, which is good for smaller businesses or those just starting out.
Exactly. You can scale your usage up or down as your needs change. It's very flexible.
That's really smart. It makes it accessible to a much wider audience.
Exactly.
Okay, so last question for you. The outline suggests that Fabric could be the future of data. Why is that? What makes Fabric so forward-thinking?
Well, I think it boils down to the fact that Fabric is breaking down the traditional walls between different data disciplines.
Okay.
You've got data engineering, data science, real-time analytics, business intelligence. All these areas that have historically been separate are now being brought together into a single unified platform.
Right.
And with the power of AI, automation, and Copilot, Fabric has the potential to completely transform the way we work with data. It's all about making it faster, easier, and more accessible for everyone to turn data into insights and ultimately better business outcomes.
It sounds like it's really setting a new standard for data analytics.
I think so.
Okay, so to wrap things up, the key takeaway for our listeners today is that Microsoft Fabric offers a unified approach to data analytics.
Mm-hmm.
It aims to simplify and speed up the process of turning raw data into valuable insights.
Exactly. And it does that by bringing together a wide range of tools and capabilities all in one place.
It's really impressive. And as comprehensive as our deep dive has been today, we've only just scratched the surface of what Fabric can do.
Oh, absolutely. There's so much more to explore.
So I want to leave our listeners with something to think about. Think about the potential of having a more complete, unified view of all the data in your organization.
Yes.
How could that help you better understand your customers, optimize your operations, or even create new innovations? Are there areas within your business where data is currently scattered and could benefit from being brought together in a more integrated way?
It's a great question to ask.
These are the questions you need to be asking as you consider how a platform like Fabric could potentially change the way you approach data and analytics in your business.
Couldn't agree more.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive today. I want to thank you for such an insightful conversation. It's been a pleasure.